Hello, students. You all are welcome to Math MahaMantra, where number speaks, logic rules, and the concept becomes crystal clear. Previous session में equation of any circle in particular cases के बारे में आप लर्न की है. Today's topic is to find the equation of a circle if the coordinates of the end points of its diameter are given. अर्थात वो सर्कल का इक्वेशन फाइंड आउट करना है जिसका डायमीटर का एंड पॉइंट्स का कोऑर्डिनेट्स गिवन है. पार्ट टू, टू फाइंड आउट द इक्वेशन ऑफ ए सर्कल पासिंग थ्रू थ्री गिवन पॉइंट्स. कोई सर्कल के ऊपर अगर 3 पॉइंट लाई कर रहा है तो उस सर्कल का इक्वेशन क्या होगा, ये भी आज आप लर्न करेंगे. एंड थर्ड पार्ट इज टू फाइंड द लेंथ ऑफ कॉर्ड्स कट बाय द सर्कल एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस 2gx प्लस 2 of fy प्लस c इज इक्वल टू 0 इन x एंड y एक्सेस. अर्थात कोई एक सर्कल है जिसका जनरल इक्वेशन है एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस 2gx प्लस 2fy प्लस c इज इक्वल टू 0. ये एक्स एक्सिस और वाई एक्सिस में दो कॉर्ड कट करेगा, उस कॉर्ड का लेंथ फाइंड आउट करना है. नाउ वी लर्न हाउ टू फाइंड द इक्वेशन ऑफ ए सर्कल इफ द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ द एंड पॉइंट्स of its diameter are given. Okay, draw the coordinate system. Say this is your x axis and this is your y axis. Okay, say this is the circle जिसका सेंटर है C. Okay, and you know any chord passing through the center is called diameter of the circle. Say there are 2 points given, one is A, another is B, and the coordinate of A is given as x1, y1, and that of B is given as x2, y2. Okay, these 2 points are given. If you join A and B, it will pass through the center, and this AB is called diameter of this circle. Agree? Now take any point P which is moving on the locus जिसका कोऑर्डिनेट से x, y. This is moving. Okay. So if you join A with P and B with P, angle APB is formed. What is the value of this angle? You know from geometry, this is 90 degree. That means any diameter of a circle makes right angle at any point on its circumference. आप क्लास 10 में एक कॉन्सेप्ट लर्न की है, चलिए एक बार दोहरा दिया जाए. आप जानते हैं कि कोई भी सर्कल है, say the center is C and there is an arc, say AB. यहां पे सपोज कोई पॉइंट है P. So on the arc APB, say there is an angle at the center, that is angle ACB, and consider any point, say D, on the circle, if you join AD and BD, you get an angle ADB on the same arc. So, what is the relation between these two angles? You have learned that this is twice angle ADB. That means angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference if both the angles are on the same arc. किसी भी वृत्त पे, किसी भी सेम चाप पे केंद्र में जो एंगल फॉर्म होता है वो सर्कमफरेंस में जो एंगल फॉर्म होता है उसका ट्वाइस होता है. ओके, सो अकॉर्डिंगली व्हाट इज द केस हियर? हियर in the circle, angle ACB is how much? It is 180 degree because this is the straight angle. Okay, and on the arc AB, suppose there is a point, say M. So on the arc AMB, another angle APB exists. APB. Okay. So, according to this theorem, I can say angle ACB is twice the angle APB. So, what is the value of angle APB? That is equal to half angle ACB. What is angle ACB? That is 180 degree. So, half of 180 degree. So, this is equal to 90 degree. So, this is very important concept you have learned in geometry, and we will use this concept here. Okay. As per discussion, we have seen that AP is perpendicular to PB. Agree? And in previous session you have learned that किसी भी दो स्ट्रेट लाइन का स्लोप अगर नोन है and if the lines are perpendicular to each other, तो स्लोप का प्रोडक्ट क्या होता है? That becomes -1. So I can say if the slope of AP is M1 and that of PB is M2, then M1 into M2 is equal to -1. Okay. What is M1? If 2 points of a line are given, how can I find the slope? M1 is y minus y1 divided by x minus x1. And what is M2? The slope of PB, that is y minus y2 by x minus x2. So, as M1 into M2 is equal to -1, so I can say y minus y1 by x minus x1 into y minus y2 by x minus x2, that is equal to -1. Therefore, I can conclude x minus x1 into x minus x2 plus y minus y1 into y minus y2, that is equal to 0. And this is the equation of the circle where the coordinates of the endpoints of its diameter are given. This is a very important formula and you should remember this. Clear? चलते हैं नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट में. नाउ वी लर्न concept number 2, to find the equation of a circle passing through 3 given points. अगर किसी भी सर्कल के ऊपर 3 पॉइंट लाई कर रहा है तो उस सर्कल का इक्वेशन क्या होगा? ड्रॉ द कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम. से दिस इज एक्स एक्सिस एंड दिस इज वाई एक्सिस. ओके, एंड से दिस इज योर origin. Say this is any circle. Say 3 given points on the circle is, say this one is A, say x1, y1. Another point is here, say x2, y2. And another point is here, say this is say B, say C, this is say C. This is say x3, y3. Okay. In previous session, you have learned about the concept of general equation of any circle. Say the equation of this circle is x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. Okay. Here G, F and C are real constants. So if we can find out the value of G, F and C, then I can get the equation of the circle. My objective is to know the value of G, F and C. Okay. What is given? 3 points A, B, C are given. Means we know the coordinates of the point A, the point B and the point C which are lying on this circle. Clear? So if you put x and y coordinates on this circle, then for A, x1, y1, I can say x1 square plus y1 square plus 2gx1 plus 2fy1 plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so this is equation number 1. For the point B whose coordinate is x2, y2, I can say x2 square plus y2 square plus 2 gx2 plus 2 fy2 plus c is equal to 0. So this is equation number 2. And for the point C whose coordinate is x3, y3, I can say x3 square plus y3 square plus 2g x3 plus 2f y3 plus c is equal to 0. So this is equation number 3. So we'll get 3 equations, and you have already learned in class 9th, if 3 unknowns are there, at least 3 equations must exist to know the value of 3 unknowns. Okay. So you will get 3 equations where the unknowns are G, F and C. So by using the method of solving simultaneous equations, you can get the value of G, F and C. Okay. So when I solve any problem related to this concept, this will be more clear. But this is the basic concept. Okay. Now we'll discuss about concept 3. What is the concept? To find out the length of chords cut by the circle x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0 in x and y axis. अर्थात इसका मतलब क्या है कि एक सर्कल है जो x एंड y एक्सिस में 2 कॉर्ड फॉर्म करेगा. वो दोनों कॉर्ड्स का लेंथ फाइंड आउट करना है. What is the geometrical meaning of this? Let's draw the circle. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Okay, here is your origin. Say the circle is this, which has cut x-axis at 2 points. Say this is A and this is B, and y-axis at 2 points. Say this is M and this is N. Now say the coordinate of A on x-axis is x1 0 and that of B is x2 0. Okay, say the coordinate of the point M is 0 y1 and that of N is 0 y2. Okay, so the question is, what is the length of the chord AB on x-axis and the chord MN on y-axis? We have to find out. Okay, suppose first I will find the length of the chord AB. Okay, so from this figure, it is very clear that the length of AB is x2 minus x1. Agree? To find out the length of the chord AB, we have to know the concept of quadratic equation. You know, the general form of any quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, c are constants. Okay, a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x. A should not be equal to 0. This is the only restriction. Okay. For any quadratic equation, there are two roots, that is the values of x. Say the roots are alpha and beta. Okay, x का दो वैल्यू है, one is say alpha, another is say beta. If we add these roots, quadratic equation में लर्न की है कि sum of roots क्या होता है, minus b by a, that is minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. And what is the product of roots? Alpha into beta, that is equal to constant term divided by coefficient of x square. This you have learned in the chapter quadratic equation, and this concept we'll use here to find out the length of this chord AB or chord MN. Okay, chord का लेंथ कैसे इस कॉन्सेप्ट को यूज करके फाइंड आउट किया जाता है. ओके, सर्कल इज एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस ट्वाइस जी एक्स प्लस ट्वाइस एफ वाई प्लस सी इज इक्वल टू 0. ओके, on x axis you know y is equal to 0, ordinate is equal to 0. Okay, so if you put this value on this equation of circle, what will you get? We will get x square plus twice gx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, and if you compare this equation with the basic equation of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then what will be the value of a in this equation? That is 1. What is the value of b here? That is 2g. Okay, Clear? So if we solve this equation, there will be two roots, means there will be two values of x, and these are what? x1 and x2. Okay. So what will be the sum of these roots? I have already told you, it will be minus coefficient of x, that is 2g, by a, that is 1, that is minus 2g. Clear? What is our target? To find out the length of AB, that is x2 minus x1. Okay. Here what is x1 into x2? Product of roots, that is c by a. What is c? This is c by what is a? That is 1. So that is equal to c here. Okay. So using the concept of quadratic equation, we have got these two relation. One is the sum of the roots, another is the product of the roots. Okay. Clear? What we have to find out? We have to find out the value of AB. What is AB? That is x2 minus x1. Okay. So from algebra, that x2 minus x1 whole square, that is equal to x2 plus x1 whole square minus 4 into x1 into x2. Okay. So if you put the values of x1 plus x2, it is minus 2g whole square minus 4 into what is x1 into x2, that is c. So you are getting 4g square minus 4c. If you take common 4, then 4 into g square minus c. So from here we can say x2 minus x1 is equal to square root of this 4 into g square minus c, that is equal to 2 into root over g square minus c. So this is the length of the chord on x-axis. Clear? In the similar way, we can say the length of the chord Amen on y-axis is 2 into square root of f square minus c. Okay. To clarify these three concepts, we should solve some problems. This is the first problem. Find the equation of a circle, the coordinate of the end point of whose diameter are 2, minus 3 and 4, 5. What is the solution? Here, say x1, y1 is equal to 2, minus 3 and x2, y2 is equal to 4, 5. Okay. From concept 1, you have already learned the equation of any circle if coordinate of endpoints of the diameters are given. What is the equation? That is x minus x1 into x minus x2 plus y minus y1 into y minus y2, that is equal to 0. Put these values, x minus x1. What is x1? That is 2. into x minus x2. What is x2? That is 4. Plus y minus y1. What is y1? That is minus 3. So it will be plus 3. And y minus y2. What is y2? That is 5. Okay, equal to 0. So if you multiply, it will be x square minus 4x minus 2x, that is minus 6x, minus into minus plus 2 into 4 8, plus y square minus 5y plus 3y, that is minus 2y, minus 2y, plus into minus minus 3 into 5 15, equal to 0. So if you rearrange, we'll get x square plus y square minus 6x minus 2y plus 8 minus 15, that is minus 7, that is equal to 0. So this is the answer. The required equation of the circle under consideration is this. Clear? This is problem number 2. Find the equation of the circle drawn on the intercept made by the line 3x plus 5y is equal to 15 between the coordinate axis as diameter. इसका मतलब क्या है? एक स्ट्रेट लाइन है, दैट इज 3x प्लस 5y इज इक्वल टू 15. ये दोनों एक्सिस के बीच में एक इंटरसेप्ट फॉर्म किया है एंड वी इंटरसेप्ट किसी सर्कल का डायमीटर है, उस सर्कल का इक्वेशन क्या है? क्लियर? व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन? ड्रॉ द कोऑर्डिनेट system. This is x axis and this is y axis. Okay, say this is the line under consideration, and what is the equation of the line? That is 3x plus 5y is equal to 15. Okay, so first I have to find out these 2 points, say A on x-axis and B on y-axis. This AB is the intercept. Okay, and this will be the diameter. This AB will be the diameter of any circle. Say this is the circle. Okay, what is the coordinate of A on x-axis? You know, ordinate of any point on x-axis, that is y is equal to 0. So if you put this value on this equation, you will get 3x is equal to 15, that is x is equal to 15 by 3, that is equal to 5. Okay, so obviously the coordinate of this point A is 5, 0. Clear? And what is the coordinate of point B? Abscissa is 0, because abscissa of any point on y-axis is 0. And what is the ordinate? So if you put x is equal to 0 in this equation, that is 3x plus 5y is equal to 15, you will get the value of y. What is y? That is 5y is equal to 15, because here x is 0, y is equal to 15 by 5, that is equal to 3. So the coordinate of the point B is 0, 3. Clear? Say this is x1, y1, and this point is say x2, y2. Okay, So what will be the equation of the circle where AB is the diameter? This is x minus x1 into x minus x2 plus y minus y1 into y minus y2 is equal to 0. Okay. Put the values of x1, x2 and y1, y2. We'll get x minus what is x1? That is 5 into x minus x2. What is x2? That is 0 plus y minus y1. What is y1? That is 0 and into y minus y2. What is y2? That is 3. Okay. So if you simplify this, you'll get x square minus 5x plus y square minus 3y is equal to 0. What will be the final equation of the circle? This will be x square plus y square minus 5x minus 3y, that is equal to 0. This is the answer. Clear? This is problem number 3. Find the equation of the circle passing through 3 points. First point is 0, 0. Second one is 2, 0. And third one is 0, 4. This is related to concept 2. First two problems, what we have solved now, these are related to concept 1. Okay. What is the solution? एक सर्कल है जो 3 गिवन पॉइंट्स 0, 0, 2, 0 एंड 0, 4 से पास कर रहा है. उस सर्कल का इक्वेशन क्या होगा? Let the equation of the circle is the general equation, that is x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. This is the general equation of any circle. Okay. Because these 3 points are lying on this circle, they will satisfy this equation. For the point 0, 0, x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is 0. It is basically origin, What equation we'll get? We'll get 0 square plus 0 square plus 2 into z is g into 0 plus 2 into f into 0 plus c is equal to 0. Okay. Here we are getting c is equal to 0. This is one value of 3 unknowns g, f and c. We have got c from here. What is the next point? That is 2, 0. This is also lying on the circle. A भी circle के ऊपर है. So it will satisfy this equation. Okay. This is the general equation. Okay. Here x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 0. Put here 2 square plus 0 square plus 2 into g into 2 plus 2 into f into 0 plus c. What is c? We have got c is equal to 0. That is equal to 0. So this is 4 plus 4g, that is equal to 0. So we are getting g is equal to minus 4 by 4, that is equal to minus 1. So we have got the value of g, that is minus 1. So one unknown is left, that is f. We have got the value of c We have got the value of G. So third point also will satisfy this equation. What is the third point? That is 0, 4. Here x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 4. So if you put this value in this equation, what will you get? You will get 0 square plus 4 square plus 2 into g into 0 plus 2 into f into y. What is y? That is 4 plus what is c? That is 0. That is equal to 0. So from here we are getting this is 16 plus 8f, that is equal to 0. So if you simplify, you will get f is equal to minus 16 by 8, that is equal to minus 2. So we have got f is equal to minus 2. So from this given condition, we have found c, that is 0, g, that is minus 1, and f, that is minus 2. The required equation is what? That is x square plus y square plus 2 into g into x. What is g? That is minus 1. So it will be minus 2x plus what is f? That is minus 2. If you put minus 2 for f, you will get minus 4 into y plus c is 0. So this is the answer. So the equation of the circle is x square plus y square minus 2x minus 4y is equal to 0. Clear? ऐसे ही रिलेटेड टू कॉन्सेप्ट 2, कोई अगर 3 पॉइंट किसी सर्कल के ऊपर अगर है तो व्हाट इज द मेथड टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम? फर्स्ट we'll let that the equation of the circle is the general equation. Okay, 3 points will be given and you will satisfy this equation with the given points, and you will get 3 equations where g, f, c will be 3 unknowns. Solve these equations and find the value of unknowns, and finally we have to replace the unknowns by their respective value, whatever you will get, and that will be the final answer. Okay, now I want to solve a problem related to concept 3, that is length of chords on x-axis and y-axis. Okay, this is problem number 4, which is related to concept 3, the length of chords on x and y-axis. Find the length of chords on x and y-axis respectively by the circle x square plus y square minus 8x plus 6y minus 9 is equal to 0. What is the solution? We have already learned that if the equation of any circle is x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0, then length of chord on x-axis is given by 2 root over g square minus c. Okay, and length of chord on y-axis is given by 2 into root over f square minus c. Okay, so if I can find the value of g, f and c from this equation, then we can get the length of the chords on x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so my first object is to find out g, F and C. So if you compare this given equation with the general equation of the circle, what will be the value of G? 2G is equal to minus 8. Okay. It gives G is equal to minus 8 by 2, that is equal to minus 4. So G is equal to 4. Okay. And what is the value of 8? Here coefficient of y is 2f and here it is 6. So what is f? The value of f is 6 by 2, that is equal to 3. So this is the value of f. Okay. And what is the value of C? If you compare C, then you will get C is equal to minus 9. So I have got three values, that is value of G, value of F and value of C. Okay. Now simply put this value of G, F and C in this formula. So what is the length of the chord on y-axis? You'll get from here, that is 2 into root over G square. What is G? That is minus 4. Minus 4 whole square, that is 16. Minus what is C? C is minus 9. So it will be plus 9. So that is equal to 2 root over 25. That is equal to 2 into 5, that is 10. So length of chord on x-axis is 10 unit. Clear? Now what is the length of chord on y-axis? You'll get the answer from here. We have already known the value of f. Put here. What is f? That is 3. 3 square is 9. Minus, what is c? C is minus 9. Minus into minus plus 9. That is equal to 2 root over 18. 18 means 9 into 2. So 9 ka square means 3. 2 into 3, 6. Square root of 2. Okay. So the length of the chord on y-axis is 6 root 2 unit. This is the answer. Clear? आज यहाँ तक आज का इस सेशन में क्या लर्न किए हैं? We have learned three concepts. How to find out the equation of any circle if coordinates of the endpoints of the diameter are given, and concept 2, how to find out the equation of a circle which is passing through three given points, and concept 3, how to find out length of chord on x-axis and length of chord on y-axis. We have solved related problems. I think the solution is very clear to all of you. अगर ये सेशन आपको अच्छा लगा है तो प्लीज डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. If there is any problem, please write down the problem in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you all for watching this video. Wait for my next video. Thank you.